What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. This one got a lot of twists and turns, so y'all keep up with me. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you're feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely tap that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. If you live long enough, life has a funny way of revealing things to you. You learn who is really in your corner, who is willing to weather the storm with you no matter what. And some situations you go through will weed out the real from the fake. When we are young, green, and naive, we think all of our friends, family, and relationships are real and solid. We cling on to that. But as time goes on, it can reveal certain people's motives, agendas, and character traits. And a once outgoing person probably will become a loner or more reserved when it comes to dealing with people. But some relationships are different. We all have people in our lives we feel like owe us loyalty. Whether a sibling, your kids if you have any, definitely our significant other, especially if y'all are married. Sometimes relationships are tested though, that for better or for worse becomes a reality. Somebody could fall ill, not be the same person you married. You have to take care of them. Or your partner could make a mistake that lands them in jail or prison, and you are put in a position. Do you stay loyal, stand tall, hold them down, or do you just do you? Because as we all know, out of sight is out of mind, and life goes on. Some understand. I'm away, you got your needs, handle your business. Just be respectful. I won't make you suffer and do time with me. Just keep them letters coming, pictures, and money flowing. But can you imagine being in a cell and finding out you have been betrayed in the worst way possible? How would you handle it? And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it all the way back to 2016 to Las Vegas, Nevada, to discuss the case of a man who found out his wife got pregnant while he was in jail and lost it. Back in 2016, 35-year-old Anthony Newton was navigating life in Sin City. He had made a decent life for himself with close friends, and even more important to Anthony, his extended family, his wife's side, as he was happily married to a woman who we will call Tiffany for the sake of the story. The two had been through a lot together, and their marriage had held strong, but it was soon tested when Anthony got jammed up, found himself sitting in a Las Vegas jail facing charges. Of course, him and his wife Tiffany stayed in contact, but as time went on, she started to seem a little distant. From a jail phone, Anthony would talk to their mutual friends and family and heard some heartbreaking news. His wife was out in the free world having an affair with, at the time, 31-year-old Ulysses Cesar Molina. Feeling betrayed, everybody knew about the relationship but him. Anthony wanted to speak to his wife and confront her with the situation. When he talked to Tiffany, she hesitated to tell the man at first about the affair, but eventually she came clean and added fuel to the fire. She told him everything was true. She was saying Caesar, and she dropped the bombshell. She was pregnant with his baby. Anthony's heart dropped. He told her she needed to get rid of it before he came home, which she did. Anthony didn't have any real time and would soon be hitting the streets again. But sitting in the cell hurt, he knew he wanted revenge. But on who? His wife or Caesar? Eventually, Anthony was released. When he came home, he had one thing in his mind: payback. It's not clear if him and Tiffany were separated or still together, but he would start asking questions about Caesar to everybody in their circle, including Tiffany's brother, his brother-in-law, George. Anthony would get lucky. After finding out somebody he was being intimate with, a young woman in her 20s named Kelsey Glass was also being intimate with Caesar as well. The young lady knew a lot of people, and had a way of making men feel comfortable around her. Around about Christmas 2016, Anthony felt it was time to make his move. He used Kelsey to his benefit. He told her since Cesar trusted her, she should call him to come over, and he would take care of the rest. On a December night, she called Cesar and asked him to pull up, in which, familiar with the young lady, thinking it was just one of their hookups, he stated, okay, bet. But once he got to the house, he was surprised to see Anthony and George. They grabbed Cesar up, confronting him about getting Tiffany pregnant, tied the man up, put hands and feet on him before choking him out. Realizing he was unconscious, they felt they had to do something to make the situation go away. A few days after Christmas, a homeless person who was living in a tent made a gruesome discovery. They found human remains that seemed to be burnt all up. They called Las Vegas police, who responded to the scene to find a partial body with the head and hands gone. They sent the remains to be tested and to try to get DNA to reveal just who the remains belonged to. The results came in. The body belonged to Cesar. As police delivered the news to his family, they were heartbroken, but the streets was talking. People were saying the homicide was all revenge from Cesar messing with Anthony's wife while he was in jail. And after an investigation started, multiple people came forward with information from the area. Police had evidence that Cesar went to Kelsey's house, got tied up, beat, and strangled. And to get rid of the evidence, George and Anthony transported him to a family member's house, set him on fire, then drove the remains to a campground. With that, all three suspects was picked up, charged with first-degree hit, assault, and multiple other charges. At their first court date, Cesar's family filled the courtroom as they all heard the charges against them. The trio stayed calm. Cesar's sister spoke out about the tragedy that happened with her brother. She also revealed him and Tiffany's relationship wasn't a secret. Everybody knew about it. While in custody, Kelsey and George both decided to turn state witness and agreed to testify on Anthony for lesser charges and time. Anthony himself was facing the ultimate punishment if convicted, and that was his life. During the first trial, as witnesses testified, including George and Kelsey, one of them would slip up and bring up Anthony's previous jail stay and record, which his lawyer argued created bias with the jury, finding out he was a convicted felon. The judge agreed, and it was a mistrial. As another year went by, a second trial was to begin. The prosecution was struggling to find more physical evidence. Crazy enough though, a 5-year-old boy was going to his mailbox when they found a human hand. Terrified, he told his parents, who called police. They later found out the hand in fact belonged to Cesar. At the second trial, that was boarded up, and Anthony's attorney argued he was already in custody and there's no way he could have had anything to do with that. Even with his co-defendants testifying against him, the jury still had doubts, and the second trial ended in a hung jury. Finally, after 10 years, in the third trial this year, prosecutors had proven their case. Kelsey and George both pleaded guilty. For their cooperation, they both received deals. It's not clear how much time they got because both of their cases are sealed, not available for the public. Anthony, now 46 years old, who was facing the ultimate punishment, was found guilty on 6 counts and faces anywhere from 20 years in prison to life, as execution was taken off the table. Rest in peace to Cesar. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. This is a cold story and a super crazy situation. I feel Anthony felt betrayed. Your wife not only laid down with another man, but got pregnant while you was in jail. I know that hurt to the soul, but Cesar didn't owe him no loyalty. His wife did. He wasn't Anthony's friend or family. At that point, you was fortunate enough to have no real time and come home and get a second chance. You could have just got a divorce and kept it moving. But to plot revenge with your brother-in-law, a woman you and Cesar was both smashing, was crazy. Of course, somebody was going to tell. Now you probably won't never hit the streets again. But I'm curious to know y'all thoughts on this situation. How would you have reacted if you was in Anthony's shoes? Leave it in the comments. And remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that man. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all know what to do. Leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's another episode of Hood Tales. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.